I asked AI if it could get me on the PGA Tour, and here's what it said.
So I told her that I want to get on the PGA Tour and I only have 10 hours per week to practice and another 5 hours per week to train. Here's what it recommended. So first thing it did is killed my ambitions by saying that actually with a limited amount of time, pretty much got no chance it's going to be a significant challenge. But here's what it recommends I do. It recommends that first of all, I take some kind of assessment. I like that. It's going to get me to start tracking some stats, which I would agree with. Whether we agree with these exact stats, I'm not too sure. I'm sure some people recommend some better stats, but we're going to get some kind of idea of where my game is at the moment, and it's going to get me to play some competitive rounds, which is really, really important as well. So I'm going to break down my practice. So it recommends I spend 2 hours per week on driving a long game, trying to improve some accuracy and distance. And within these sessions, it's going to work on a combination of technical stuff, target practice, course simulation, and multi-progress. So actually, I really like this. It's actually quite a good idea for mapping out your long game practice in terms of kind of dividing out technical, target, and course simulation. So I'm going to be doing 2 hours per week on approach play and iron play. Again, it's going to kind of break up in terms of distance control, trajectory work, game-like situations. So again, we're trying to apply this and actually add some pressure into this practice, which is a really good feature. Short game wise, I like to this actually quite a lot. It's got a good bit of variation in terms of chipping, bunker play, and pitching. Again, always with AI, you just get kind of weird terminology on stuff, but it's actually quite a good layout and you actually could follow this and get some good results. 3 hours per week on putting, which I thought was quite a lot actually, but it is getting me to do a mixture of mixed and long putts and lag putting as well, which obviously is really important. So yeah, quite like this, but interesting again that it doesn't really set out the competitive side of putting practice, which is easy. I thought that was going to be one that it was going to add in. Then we get onto the training. This is a bit I was super interested in. So it's going to be doing 2 hours per week on strength and power work. It's obviously going to get me focusing on these main lifts. It didn't really go into too much detail here, but I'm sure if you asked it to do a specific strength training plan, which I've done in the past, it will give you a little bit of extra detail. It's going to get me doing some flexibility and mobility stuff. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this stuff, but yeah, it's kind of going to recommend the time that I spend, which is not too bad. It's going to get me to do some cardio, which was interesting. I don't really know. It didn't really justify why. It said we'll build some endurance without spending too much time. Yeah, great, but what's the point? And it also then mentioned mental training and said I do some meditation, okay, and some course management study, which is interesting. It then recommended I come back and do that progress tracking. And I set some kind of long and short-term goals. So although there's a lot wrong with this and there's a lot of mess, I actually think that if a lot of people followed this structure and actually were consistent with it, then you're probably not going to be too far away, but you're definitely not going to get on the PGA Tour. And I like the fact that it pretty much told me that at the start.